Hey everybody, it's Raphael from XX Raphael Productions, and today's topic is going to be about The Flash Season 8 and what we currently know so far about it. So, a quick reminder before we begin is that the Season 8 premiere is November 16th, 2021. So, as of right now, it's October 3rd, so we only have 1 month and 13 days left before Season 8 finally arrives, alright? So, for this video, I will be talking mostly about this article, so it's going to be talking about The Flash, the team with Batwoman, Black Lightning, Mia Queen, and many others in 5-part premiere events. But I will also be talking later about what The Flash Season 8 should do in order to not turn out as bad as The Flash Season 7, because if you have seen my other videos on The Flash Season 7, you will know that I have been dissatisfied with the season, and in fact, I would go as far to say that The Flash Season 7 is so utterly bad that it's much, much worse than any season that has been given to us to date, alright? So, let's go ahead and read this article first, and we'll get into the problems of Season 7 later, because today's video is mostly about The Flash Season 8, alright? I will leave a link to this article in the description below, and let's go ahead and get right into it, alright? So, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see as I'm reading. So, the CW announced on Wednesday that The Flash's 8th season will kick off on November 16th with a 5-part special titled Armageddon. So, here in this paragraph, we can see all these old superheroes and also occasionally some villains as well in the second paragraph here. So, it's talking about these actors reprising their roles, including Tom Cavanagh, who also left the show in Season 7, being, I mean, like, we've seen Tom Cavanagh, like, frequently pop up, like, let's see, in the Season 7 finale, but he is no longer a series regular like he used to be, so it's not really the same situation anyway. But he will be in this Armageddon 5-part special. So, also, the one thing I want to note is Ryan Choi's name is mentioned. So, just for anybody who forgot about this character, he was actually in the Crisis crossover, so he was one of the Paragons as well that was needed to defeat the Anti-Monitor, but personally, I don't think we've seen enough of Ryan Choi's character, and we haven't really seen, like, what more about him, so I'm thinking that this is a good opportunity to actually show us more of Ryan Choi and why he was an effective Paragon to begin with, because I noticed that more people, not just me, but even other people, thought that Ryan Choi felt out of place, and it is very possible that this event could finally show us why he matters at all. So yeah, he's going to be returning for this, not this crossover, this 5-part special, and obviously I have his picture on screen just in case you guys forgot who this character is. But yeah, so expect Reverse Flash to show up in this event, and also Damien Darhk, who is the villain of Arrow Season 4, and also occasionally showed up on Legends of Tomorrow. So let's go ahead and scroll down. So okay, more information about the Armageddon event. Here's the official logline. So, a powerful alien threat arrives on Earth under mysterious circumstances, and Barry Allen and Iris West and the rest of Team Flash are pushed to their limits in a desperate battle to save the world. So, from here, we hear powerful alien threat. Well, this should, I hope this reminds you about the Dominators, which I'm not sure if you guys still remember, but that was a crossover back in the 2016 and 2017 season of the Arrowverse. So that would put the time around The Flash Season 3 and Arrow Season 5, alright? So that is the last time we saw the Dominators before they took off into deep space after the Flash and the heroes repelled them from invading Earth. So from this logline, we see that we have another extraterrestrial threat popping up for this event, alright? So that's at least something interesting. But, I mean, like I said before, this can go either way, because there were many plot points in The Flash Season 7 that were interesting, but, you know, we know how Season 7 turned out. I will leave a link in the description below to my other videos talking about why The Flash Season 7 is utterly unwatchable, but yeah. So, with time running out and the fate of humanity at stake, Flash and his companions will also need to enlist the help of some old friends if the forces of good are to prevail. So, from this sentence, I want to remind you guys about the group that we saw at the end of the Crisis crossover, where it's kind of like a mini Justice League, I guess. I'm not sure of the actual name, I have to look that up later, but yeah, it's kind of like a mini type of Justice League thing, so I'm hoping we get to see more of that group, especially before a lot of these actors start to leave their roles, because I know that Cisco and Dr. Wells have left already in Season 7, even though they might come back sometimes, that doesn't mean that they're any more series regulars, so they have also, like, they will reprise the roles only occasionally. So I'm hoping that we get to see more of the Crisis team before these characters eventually start fading into the dust when these actors start to leave their roles, okay? So yeah, in a statement as well, Flash's he's the showrunner, Eric Wallace, said that the 5-parter represents some of the most emotional Flash episodes ever, adding that there are also some truly epic moments and huge surprises that await our fans, and we are doing them on a scale that's bigger and bolder than our traditional Flash episodes, alright? So, as to what Eric Wallace has done and to the Flash, well, he did get a lot of mixed reception after Season 6 and Season 7, where, I mean, like, I guess the graphic novel thing might be an interesting idea, but he also gave us some of the worst seasons ever, so, I mean, I'll get into that later, like, Season 7 especially, like, I mean, Season 6 has its up and downs, but Season 7 was just, I mean, if you've seen Season 7, well, it will speak for itself, but yeah, Armageddon is going to be a lot more than just not a graphic novel storyline. Okay, so, this sounds like it could be almost Crisis level of stakes, but I mean, like, I guess not on that exact level, because Anti-Monitor destroyed the entire multiverse, so that is still so far the biggest, like, event on the Arrowverse to date, so this might come close, but I don't think it'll be on that level, but yeah. It's gonna be a true event for the Flash and Arrowverse fans. It's kind of like how Infinity War was a big event for the MCU. Alright, so, it has the same feeling as a crossover, even though it's not an official crossover, so yeah. Let's see how this goes, folks. So that's what we know so far about Armageddon, and so here we are in the Flash subreddit, and if I go in and click the spoilers, right now it's saying, according to showrunner Eric Wallace, The Flash Season 8 will spend all season solving Iris' time sickness. So this was actually a plot point to get Iris out of the story temporarily because, you know, Candice Patton, the actress, I guess she was dealing with some stuff behind the scenes, but it's interestingly enough, Eric Wallace decided to bring this storyline back, even though it's just a side storyline, and talk about this being a central point for The Flash Season 8. So, now, for this poster, he doesn't like this, but so that's the reason why he titled this as Y, but, and anyhow, so I'm glad, though, that we are getting more details in The Flash Season 8, so we've got the Armageddon event that sounds interesting, and we also got this, alright, so it is so far unknown, though, whether Godspeed will ever return, and frankly, I hope he doesn't return, because they ruined Godspeed a lot in Season 7, so he's a one-and-done character anyway, so at least we know Bart Allen, and we also know Nora West Allen is back. But yeah, so now for this section of the video, we're going to be talking about The Flash Season 7 and also Season 8, alright? So this is going to be about what Season 8 has to fix in order to not turn out as horrible as Season 7 was, because, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, Season 7 was so utterly unwatchable that I was legit worried for the future of this show, and it even really showed in the acting as well. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you compare the way the characters were in Season 7 and you rewatch, like, Season 1, Season 2, and even Season 3, you can kind of see that these actors feel like they are losing interest in the show, and it was mostly obvious as well in Cisco especially, so Carlos Valdez left the show, but even then you could tell Cisco's character really hit rock bottom in the last few seasons, and he just really never recovered, so it was a pretty sad way to go for one of the best characters. And for Tom Cavanagh and Grant Gustin, these two actors were consistently the best. Now, Grant Gustin and Tom Cavanagh continue to be the best actors in the show, and even when Dr. Wells, like, he finally left the show, his acting never went downhill, so that's a good testament to Tom's acting ability, alright? So, the other thing that Season 7 made a mistake on is how they really focused way too much on the family drama, and that really plagued the season. Now, maybe on a rewatch, it might not feel as much of a chore, but I remember when it was still airing, seeing all these villains, like, being defeated with a pep talk, or even, like, let's see, and when there was no pep talks, the fight scenes were bad, so it's like really, it's a bad alternative either way, because, like, I don't know really what went wrong with this season, but they just didn't, I don't know, it feels like they were just phoning it in for the rest of the season, and the Godspeed storyline did not save the season, but it was definitely a step up from the god-awful Forces storyline. So, like, I mean, I don't even know really what, like, I don't know why they decided to humanize the Speed Force. That was a mistake in my opinion, because the Speed Force was this really, like, mysterious entity back in Season 2, where it would simply take the form of, like, Barry's closest family members or friends in order to, like, make itself relatable to Barry, but it never really portrayed the Speed Force, like, as, like, part of Team Flash. That was, like, I don't know, like, I didn't know how to feel about that. And then the rest of Season 7's Godspeed storyline, it's, like, not enough episodes for Godspeed. I mean, I'm not saying to stretch out the season storyline, but at least you could have made Godspeed a lot more interesting than he was, and the voice especially didn't help either. Like, I don't know what they did with the voice of Godspeed, but it just made him look like a comical villain. It was just so bad. Like, for an example of this, I'm going to leave a link in the description below, just so you can see how awful Godspeed's voice is, alright? I don't want to, like, link it in this video because it might be copyrighted, and I want to avoid that, okay? So, I'll leave a link for that in the description below, and I will go in and talk more about the Godspeed storyline and the Forces storyline, okay? So, when it comes to the Forces, the thing is, it feels like they were way too ambitious for their own good. So, when it comes to that kind of thing, like, I do wish that they don't really overstep, like, on what, like, I'd rather we have a more simpler storyline, but well written, rather than, like, a very huge storyline, but then it's, like, poorly executed, because that was what the Forces storyline felt like for me. So, it had a lot of potential, like, the concept was interesting, like, these forces running amok after Barry rebirths the Speed Force, that had a lot of potential, but then when you actually watch the rest of it, it's just bleh, just terrible, you know? Like, there were a couple highlights, like the Fear Force, whatever, Bashir was his name, yeah, so that was okay, I guess, but then the rest of it was just utterly unwatchable. And then Season 7 second half as well with Godspeed, like, they spent too much focus on these uninteresting characters that we don't really care about. I remember just hoping for Godspeed to show up, because I was personally hoping that a speedster villain would rectify the season, but alas, that didn't happen, and unfortunately, Season 7 ended up as being the worst season of the show. So, yeah, Season 8 has to fix its pacing, because Season 7 suffered a lot on pacing and on important storylines, so even though Season 7 was the shortest season, coming with 18 episodes compared to the rest of the show, it still felt like the longest season despite it only... It felt like the longest season despite it being actually the shortest season. It was just that terrible, and I am glad that they're actually finally, they're actually bringing... I know that they brought back Reverse Flash for this, so I guess they're catering to what the fans enjoy most, but keep in mind that even with these awesome characters returning, that does not mean that this will be a good season, because we still have to see the way that these, the CW would execute this, because look, even the Season 7 finale, even with Reverse Flash finally coming back, you still got a bunch of people hating the episode, so even with Thawne returning, it wasn't really enough to save the season, and that is because cameos don't equal good writing, and this is something that Crisis on Infinite Earths also suffered from, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about that right now. So, the Crisis, we had Smallville scenes like that, and we also had some other characters returning. That was pretty cool. We also had a Lucifer cameo as well, so it's like all these cameos were supposed to be the standout of the crossover, but they didn't really put much effort into the plot, and it showed. Like, they thought that the cameos were enough to make up for this crossover, but just because you have all these awesome characters, that doesn't mean that the writing is good. Because here's an example. Season 1 of The Flash, it is one of the best Flash seasons. In fact, I would say Season 1 and 2 are still the best seasons of the show, and they have less characters than what we have now, and yet they are still superior seasons, because it doesn't really matter. You can have all these comic book references, but if the plot is terrible, none of that is going to matter. So, as Season 7 has proven, it has all these, Speed Force, and all these other forces, and even has Godspeed and all these time-traveling aspects, and yet this season was terrible. So it doesn't matter how many cameos you add into your season, as long as the writing is good. So that is what Season 8 has to fix. They have to focus more on the plot and also as well on the fight scenes too, because Season 7, like, at least, even if the show had bad writing in the past seasons, at least the fight scenes were entertaining, but that wasn't even true in Season 7. We had the lightsaber stuff, like, from Godspeed, and it was just, for me, I just found it really dumb, and like, the music was good, though. I will give them credit for this. The music was great for that scene, but the rest of the fight didn't fit the soundtrack, if you get what I mean. It just kind of feels like really epic soundtrack for a not-so-epic scene, alright? So, yeah, this can go either way, folks. Season 8 has not yet been confirmed to be the last season, but I guess we are near the end of the show for sure, since we've got 2 actors leaving already. So, yeah, I guess time will tell, folks. I'll see you in my next video, and just as another reminder, Season 8 premieres on November 16th, 2021, so stay tuned, and I will do some more videos on it as well, my personal thoughts, and I'll also do some more videos on The Eternals and Spider-Man No Way Home, so expect those to come up in the next few months. Thank you very much for watching, Raphael out, and I shall see you soon.